A few games catch my attention in the same way that Devil May Cry or Nier Automata did, and with a deep appreciation for those games not only as experiences but what they offer in terms of action combat. I will always give games that try and build off those systems a chance to wow me without being truly compared to them. And Homura Hime? He did a really good job. Just to be clear on this, I'm not saying that this game is in the same league as Devil May Cry, Bayonetta or Nier Automata, but more so that what it fundamentally focuses on in terms of combat ticks all the boxes that an action hack and slash game should aim for. It has style, optional combo routes that allow for expressive gameplay, finely tuned combat when it comes to offense and defense, and enemies that force you to think on your feet. It has this and so much more to offer, so let's talk about Homura Hime. The story focuses around purifying the world of demons, humans that die carrying tangled regrets and emotions at an intense level that corrupts and shifts them into these powerful archdemons, and their presence alone distorts the world around them in layers of chaos. You play as Homura Hime, a powerful Exorcist whose name translates quite literally to Flame Princess or Blaze Princess, as you journey out into the world to perform your duty of defeating and vanquishing 5 demon girls. With each archdemon defeated, the story begins to take a turn with different viewpoints coming to light that makes the truth you know to be somewhat off. No spoilers though, and all the footage will be from the first 2 chapters of the game. I really like the design of Homura Hime as her modern yet traditional outfit feels unique. It kind of gives this gym girl vibe with the tops and the leggings, but with her shoes being fabric held together through string. The armband things make no sense, but it does give her outfit a bit of flair to it, which I feel complements her stoic demeanour. Now Anne on the other hand is your companion that aids you with basically being your over-the-shoulder ranged option, which I'll explain more later. Her personality is more of a cute ditzy kind of vibe, but someone who knows the world well. She isn't lacking in terms of useful information about the world's happenings and what the mission is, and is quite literally the one who steers the conversation at times, to best flesh out this world. Now the final focus is the archdemons themselves, as they are varied and different in terms of not only their personality, but the way they fight as well. They have multiple phases, attack patterns to learn and master, and a complete blend of physical, ranged and area of effect attacks that push you to understand the dance of battle and find your openings. I find myself being reminded of Demon Slayer while playing this, and I think it's strictly down to how enemies you face have these moments where they're given a short section where they're humanized, and gives you a sense of empathy. But realistically, I was here for one thing, and it was not to work through my feelings. The combat is so clean, as you find your rhythm of smashing through enemies regardless if they are fodder, elites or bosses, and I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about your toolkit. Melee comes in 2 forms, light and heavy, and these can be thrown together to give you a multiple of different outcomes in terms of combos. Some break stagger quicker and some launch them into the air, and some combos are strictly for after you and the enemy become airborne. As I said earlier, Anne is your over-the-shoulder ranged option, and this boils down to her shooting holy balls, praise the lord, a laser beam, big up Jesus, and a little stalker entity that will barrage a target for a period of time. These 3 options can be equipped at the same time, and you can cycle through them as you wish to best handle the surroundings. Now when it comes to avoiding damage, you get 2 options, 3 if you just want to run around. Dodging, which can be used to keep momentum moving to close gaps while staying out of the way of attacks, and parrying, which funnily enough gives you a little boost dash in the direction you're moving in if you wish to close the gap that way. Both are extremely useful and keep the combat feeling fluent. Skills also get thrown into the mix, which has a nice mechanic around it. After using them they go into a cooldown that you don't wait out, you have to either attack or parry to build that meter back up to use them again. I love this in particular as it allows for those who want to go balls to the wall with damage the option to do so if they keep that constant pressure of staying within attack range. These skills can be multi-slashes, AoE attacks, locking an enemy in place, closing the distance and more. These attacks carry the most amount of visual flair I would say, and feel powerful to use. Something I really appreciate about the game is it doesn't rush you into learning everything all at once. It has this steady and gradual pace for it. You can dive in right away and brute force it if you wish, but the resources that you'll need to collect during fights and broken boxes will block you from opening every option right away. With all these skills coming together, you'll find that each encounter will become a chaotic blend of offense and defense that leads to a style grade building up in the top right corner. Now similar to something like Devil May Cry, Hi-Fi Rush or Ultra Kill, the main focus to aim for is alternating through different attacks that keep combos fresh and building up the style meter, and of course avoiding damage to prevent the meter from dropping. The 3 core elements you will be graded on will be your accumulative combat score, how fast you beat the encounter, and how much damage you take. At the end of the level, all of these encounters that you are graded on will be tallied up and you'll be given an overall grade. Personally, I don't think that you should worry about this right out of the gate, unless you're crazy into similar systems, as the combat itself is incredibly fun and engaging as you master your toolkit against demons you encounter. You can also go back through them and test your metal afterwards. With this system in hand, you'll begin to focus on not how fast you can put out the damage, but how important your positioning is, and using your dodges and parries to cover distance and refusing enemies a chance to drop your score ranking. You can brute force a lot of enemies within the early game with just attacks and moving around, but as you start encountering more aggressive enemies that throw out combos, it becomes vital to focus those dodges and parries. A lot of the time the game feels like it wants you to parry, as the cooldown on parries is basically non-existent. But you should completely engage with it because it's fun to discover the patterns and timings when fighting enemies. Some attacks can't be parried though, which you will need to dodge away from, and there are decent amounts of bullet hell sections that also require you to actively evade. These aren't constant, but it is 100% worth mentioning as if you are on the fence about buying this game, as it might be a deal breaker for you. My thoughts on these is they give you a very present challenge that pushes you to find openings and not simply try and tank the damage. They were fun, but this is likely the limit of what I would be willing to overcome when it comes to bullet hell gameplay. Loved it, but don't need any more. I really enjoyed Homura Hime across the board, but I genuinely only picked the game up for one reason, and that was the combat. Yet I was invested in the story of Homura's journey and what adventure waited after each boss fight. The game has moments that feel peaceful as you traverse through the levels and collect items that add some flavour to the world between encounters, and while they allow for you to soak in the world, this is the main time you'll be able to appreciate the surroundings, as it seems like an immersive blur during combat. If you're a fan of games like Nier Automata, Devil May Cry, or any other carefully crafted action hack and slash games, then I would recommend giving Homura Hime a try, as it offers a rich combat experience that makes you feel capable when surrounded by enemies of all different styles of attack. And while the bullet hell sections can feel overwhelming to evade and dodge, sticking with it and overcoming those challenges feels amazing to be part of. If you're on the fence still about it, then fear not, you can give it a try yourself as they have a demo, which I believe will be filled with enough to sink your teeth in and leave you wanting more. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely day and or evening, and I'll catch you next time.